in Africa who listens to us regularly. Good evening. Florida. Good evening. And all those of you who are in your taxis this busy evening, rush hour, trying to get home from work and in your taxis, on your cars, on your radio, listening to us and wanting to call in to us. Today is the opportunity. You can call in. We are opening line from the word go so that you can call in. We are also live on YouTube and Facebook. I think we had some problems with the YouTube for some time. Yeah. Right, but is it back up? Right. Yeah. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are on the third umpire. My name is Stephen Matheson, and today I will be here alone for a while. I think one of the other umpires will be coming in the next hour, but we will be here to discuss the issues as usual with you. We just had that last song playing just before the promo, a song by Mark Pierre, a Young King finalist. He asked a very critical question: how you feel? Do you feel like a winner? That to me is critical because we are hearing a lot of comments, people, good things, some people say bad things. It's like we still in election year, we still in an election period. We just came out of the Tobago House of Assembly elections, and the place is kind of heated. So while we are in a carnival mode, it's a mixture of that and some of the issues that are really plaguing society and are really concerning to a lot of people, I should say, in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are here to discuss them. So I saw the Chief Secretary would have said, and I was looking at a news clip, where the Chief Secretary said he given every single secretary that he appoints 9 months to show your steel, failing which he will remove you and replace you by someone else within. Now that is the kind of steel you want to hear from leaders, and it is kind of like what you also heard from Ms. Vicessa, and we know she is a lady that is known for doing that, making those kind of changes in mid-air. And we also expect that also will be her mantra at some point in time. But what are you saying in Trinidad and Tobago? What are you saying in relation to the government policies? How do they affect you? How you feel? How you feel Trinidad and Tobago? And a lot of things. How you feel about crime? How you feel about everything? Are you seeing any visible changes? Things that, even if it appears as though it's kind of rough now, on a trajectory, are you seeing any major changes, especially as it relates to crime and that kind of criminal activity or activities that sometimes comes across as very lawless, even around Carnival? How do you feel? How do you feel? Do you see changes? Do you see any trajectory? Do you feel as though we are on a trajectory for change? Right? So, listening to and reading some of the comments on Facebook, a lot of times you will see comparisons between the two major parties. And by the way, this show is coined in using a cricket analogy, and it's the third umpire. So we often look at both teams. We call the batting side the government and the fielding and bowling side the opposition. So we want to hear also how you feel, how the batting, or are the opposition doing well fielding? What are your take? I'm opening the line almost immediately because I would like you to stir the discussion, guide the discussion in the areas that we would want it to go, and we adopt a very objective perspective on the show. So it is not like we are in any way coming across as though we are supporting any particular side. We analyze the thing and we tell you how we feel about what's going on. There's also a lot of talk about, you know, this time I don't know why it's happening, but a lot of talk about race and corruption and that kind of thing. The normal. I don't know. I feel as though we kind of like still in a political or a election kind of, you know, feeling that kind of way now. Just listening to the comments and hearing what people have to say, feeling like it's still like an election coming soon. But I mean, the only thing I know coming shortly, probably within the next year, might be local government elections. So in any case, all things being equal, the government or the baton side will be in the wicket for the next 4 to 5 years. So I don't know where all that kind of talk coming from, but I'd like to hear what your position is on it, and let's discuss it this evening. How do you feel, Mark Pierre? How do you feel? Do you feel like a winner? I was listening to a show this evening on one of those other radio stations, other competitors, and a gentleman by the name of, I think it's Bernard Yorching or something, was on the radio, and he was talking about how wicked the government is by closing down URP and CPEP and that kind of thing. And you know, I just find he had a kind of one-sided perspective of the thing without understanding how this thing works. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Martinson. I don't want to take the jump that's so quick, you know. But the question of how you feel has to be put in a context. Mm-hmm. And that context has to do with where the economy is. You have to be where the institutions, security services, where they are at, crime and all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So one has to think in terms of, you know, the availability of Forex and where the economy is at, well, yes, where Forex is at this point in time. Because it has moved from $11.5 billion, I think, in 2015 to 4.6 recently. It has gone up to 5.3 billion. And I'm saying that is still minuscule. And I think the finance minister might have gone to the United States to probably borrow. Again, you can't run this economy if you don't have money, and everybody knows that. So I'm saying that how you feel has to be in a context, the context as to what the present government inherited, the disaster that they inherited. And I am not trying to fabricate anything. The former government told you that. The former prime minister, former prime minister and others told you that the economy, we would have been in some kind of cuckoo or something like that. You have others within where you getting the money from, where you get it. But the fact remains is that if you don't borrow the money, then this country will be at a standstill. You can't do anything.
Well, the fact is, you know, caller, you know, and let's have this discussion. Let's talk together. The thing is, what you have out there, to me, I don't know if you're listening to me on the radio or you're listening to me on the phone, but again, I have feedback.
Oh, you're getting feedback?
Yeah.
Well, I listen to you on the phone.
Right. Good. Right. So the challenge we have is that a lot of people that are talking. Sometimes you get the impression that they are either political activists who have probably a gripe with certain things or who does not really understand how government run and how government deal with challenges. Every government deal with things differently. Every person, every head of a household deal with things differently. So you know, this government certainly came in, as you would have said, indicated, and in my opinion, they would have met uh, a position, they would have met, the table would not have been filled with food as usual, and they have to make a decision as to how to work to get that kind of money to put the food on the table that everybody would get to eat.
Yeah, but you see one thing, Mr. Marcusson. We, in Trinidad, people believe that we truly educated, and yes, we may be educated, but educated in what? In what's there? Are we educated as regards economics? Are we educated as regards the politics? Do we have an understanding of the sociology of this country? Do we understand that? We don't understand. A lot of us, I listen to the radio every day, and what I'm saying is that there's a paucity in terms of knowledge in this country. And in fact, if you look, and even with, you saw it even with respect to that geopolitical situation, right, with Venezuela, the kind of comments, the kind of contribution that people make, you assess them based on that, the critical thinking. So the fact, but I'm saying that the population now is far better than those when I remember in 1986. 86, people weren't thinking as they are now. The younger people, you can't fool them to a large extent. So I'm saying I agree with you that we need to uplift. There are certain things that people ought to know, and they don't know. There's a lot of ignorance in the society. I remember Morgan Job saying that some years ago, but I think things might have improved somewhat since then. But we're in a bad state in terms of when people don't understand and you don't know, people can manipulate you.
Well, and that's the reality of the politics. People are sometimes driven by those who might be stronger and who can talk and who have agendas,
Yeah.
and they create a narrative out there, and everybody run with it.
But that is it.
The thing is,
Yeah.
the thing is, what we have to understand is that all men are not created equally, and some might have a better understanding of what's going on, some may not, and some may listen to those who don't.
Right.
And that is the challenge.
Yeah, because what I want to say here is this, is that when I'm doing a comparative analysis here with respect to those other Caribbean countries like Barbados and Jamaica and those countries. And I want to, because people tend to look at Myanmar. Even when Myanmar took over Barbados, well, in fact, Cornel Scott and those people were from the Dems, the Democratic Labour Party, actually plunged or placed the Bajan people, the Barbadians, in the hands of in the jaw of the IMF. And she been, to date, it's a struggle. And Jamaica and Barbados still, even though they show some signs of improvement based on the IMF and the program and all that kind of thing, they're still in a bind and they're still struggling. And she has imposed some austerity measures there also. But again, it's sensible people. These people, I think, not like Trinidadians. I live among them for a little while, for about 2 years and whatnot. And I could tell you that they are critical thinkers, the mass of them, the mass in the main. Right?
Well, Barbados doesn't have, it's like when Lee Kuan Yew took Singapore. Similar to what happened in Trinidad and Tobago. Barbados is a kind of monoculture. Is one, for the most part, most of the people look the same.
Yes.
In Trinidad and Tobago, we have a divide. And for the Africans came here under different circumstances from the East Indians, and so there was a divide from then on, one fearing the other for whatever reason. And now you have, it is manifest in certain ways in the politics. You know what would have happened in the 56 and 62 and, at Marlborough House, and you know the history. And the thing is, for whatever reason, that resonates over the years, and people have this kind of fear for each other. So you would hear, like now, this season, you're kind of hearing like, there seems to be a deep divide in the way people think, not thinking critically as to what needs to be done by a government to change certain cultures or certain things to bring Trinidad and Tobago to where it should be. So
Well,
you're
I
hearing people
agree.
talking about URP and CPEP and closed down and people on the breadline. Yes, people on the breadline. And the thing is, yeah, I was looking at that story today. Two people, a poor man was crying out this time that, listen, I am so poor, and he looking at a rich man and saying, asking God to make that rich man poor like him and give him that same opportunity. The challenge is, it was done. The story said it was done. And when it was done, in a month time, the rich man was rich again because
Yeah,
his mindset changed.
well, that's the whole thing in Trinidad. Yeah, because I told a man sometime, I think it has to do with that. The question of the culture. It has to do with the socialization within communities and probably in terms of education and all that kind of thing. So I'm saying that in more, if you look at the people who strive generally, are the people who are more educated, the more educated bunch. And those who are lesser educated, they seem to be in a state of perpetual poverty and hardship. They live in the more depressed community. Those who are able to, fortunate enough, to go to university and qualify themselves and got the necessary training, those who have used their skill in order to develop themselves, they have been able to, and they move out of those communities, right? So that is, but I come back to Barbados as I want to make sure the reference is that they're very educated people, eh? They're educated.
Yeah.
And they behave in that mature way. And unlike Trinidadians, and the thing, when you talk about the race and the different race, ethnicity, and that kind of thing, you talk about race just now there. Race is a political tool in this country. It's a weapon used by politicians in order to, the question about blackness and the question about race and slavery and all that kind of thing, it's used to mobilize the people around the party. That's a tool of mobilization. You didn't hear it all the time for the last, they weren't talking race, you know. They weren't talking about black, and they did business for that. But the fact remains that in order to get back into the thick of things, they have to use a device in order to mobilize and get the people behind them.
It's not to mobilize them, it's to get the people. It's fear.
Yeah.
It's fear to create.
But that fear that they have also is used to mobilize them, to bring them together.
Correct.
That is what it is used. Yes, the fear.
And to me, it's not so much the politicians are doing it, but their handlers, the people who are the sycophants.
Yes,
They are the one that are doing it.
Yes, you see, the party faithful and the activists and those people, the minions, the acolytes, because you hear them. I mean, I just travel, I go to barber shops and that kind of thing from time to time. And the discussion sometimes, you know, you have to get hard times, and hard times, they understand their status, and they tend to come together in order to relieve themselves of the pain and suffering. This is not the case in Trinidad. People tend to arouse these people and rile them up into a kind of behavior. You saw it in 1986. I was around. They mobilized the mob into total destruction. You saw it. I saw it in 2010. Well, they couldn't do it under Basil Pandey when he took over. They tried as hard as they wanted, but they did not succeed. But that is the mentality. That is the approach. And I'm saying that this country, no matter what you think about it, we're in for the rough times. And as I said, the predecessor, that government, told you that, and it is a fact. And therefore, what we have to do is to come together. Because you just imagine crying, you fighting down.
The ones who certainly will survive will be the ones who could critically think to get themselves out of this situation.
That's exactly. Those who can't, they will remain in that perpetual state.
So if you can't change your mindset and you thinking, you just looking at government bad and all that kind of thing, you will be living in, they'll be living in your heads, your collective heads for the next 5 years, and you would go nowhere, just sitting down and waiting for them to get good.
Yeah, but you see, the thing about it is that I don't want to take too much of your time. But I remember in 1986 when you had the recession, you had the fall in oil prices, and the turmoil which followed in terms of the economy and mass unemployment. You had mass. I told somebody recently, I was a young person, to Forest. The thing about it, some Forest was that goes down, everything closed down. The people, those people working on the port, those port people, all those nightclubs on Charlotte Street and George Street, they closed, they shut down, they went dead, no money, no anything, nothing at all. You had to close down a lot of that. And that is, and I'm saying that the people gravitated towards the IMF because they had no other option, and they were hopeful that things would have changed and gone their way, not understanding that you have to start from scratch. You come back, and I'm saying that they left, they were there for 30 years, and when they left, the economy was in shambles. They were there for 10 years. But Bannon couldn't make it from 90 to 95. He couldn't make the full 86 to 95 or thereabout. Couldn't make the whole period. And therefore, what happened? It collapsed. And then you had Pandey coming in there. And then from I think 2007, he couldn't make the whole thing again. He got a second term. And we're talking about when this last regime left here in 2025 last year. What happened? He left the economy in shambles again. You have to rebuild. So you can't be rebuilding for people to break down. And it's the same thing all the time: corruption, mismanagement, and all waste, and all these different things. And that's the same, is a repeat of the same thing. What went on in '86 occurring when I listen to Pico and all these things come back. Same thing. So I don't think that the PNM needs 5 years in office. I don't think they need 10 years in office.
Well, certainly they have been there for 10 years, and most of the things people complaining about that against the Baton side, clearly the PNM would have failed at it too. The Boland side would have failed at it. So what are you saying then?
So where am I going? What am I don't I want to be quite honest. I don't think that the Boland side. When I look at the people who are there now and the people who were there for the last 10 years, these are the same people. So what am I doing? You think any sensible, any critically thinking people, you have 10 years and you destroy the whole thing. Now you're in Russia time. What could they do? What are they projecting? What are the alternatives? They're not telling you anything in terms of how they're going to turn around the economy, how they're going to make life better.
Well, I personally, I'm not even waiting for them to tell me that, you know. I'm looking at me first. I'm looking at me first, and I'm trying to turn around my economy for me.
Yes.
And if everybody think like that, the economy will turn around.
What is in your interest? Because they say countries having interest and whatnot. Well, I have my interest, and everybody in this country should have interest. My interest can't be to see them put them back in power. My interest is my survival, the improvement of my standard of living and quality of life.
Correct.
What is important to me.
And I would agree with anybody that there are persons who are less fortunate and who need a certain kind of nudging on and that kind of thing. And I agree to the fact that they should be helped in certain ways. But listen, all this that I talk about CPEP and URP and that kind of thing, listen, the people who talking have been there since I know them. 20, 30 years ago. And there's still, I mean, how if that is all you could look forward to, you have a problem.
Yeah, the thing about it is that you have to, I think the people have to understand, and they have to come to an understanding. And those people who are out there and want you to come outside and mash up people and all that kind of thing, you have to be very careful because, as I said before, history is a thing that your lessons to be learned. You listen, you saw it, you experienced it, and the fact remains is that when you need stability in any country in order to attract foreign investment. Nobody is coming to put their money in this place to lose every damn thing goes down for the skin and all that kind of thing. The people who are here, if you don't have stability, they're going to leave, they're going to lose jobs. No matter multinational oil companies and all of this, if you don't have stability, they're not investing. So who's going to suffer? You. Those people, the middle class, the upper class, those people, those so-called rich politicians, they're businessmen, they're children well off, they're studying all about the poor man have to think. You want to think about what is in your best interest, you and your children and your generation to come. Get yourself out of that morass. Get yourself out of that cycle of culture of poverty. That is what they have to be thinking. Don't let people use you to satisfy. They want to get back in office to do what they want to do.
And when they're in office, they're not working for you. They're certainly not. All the talk they're hearing right now, when they're in office, they're not doing that for the very people who talking that talk. So, you know, I am so disappointed just listening to fellow Trinidadians. Before we should be talking progression and ways how we could make Trinidad and Tobago better as nationalists. We keep talking, going back into this race and this set of mad talk. I just find it to be very, very reprehensible.
Yeah, people have to wake up. And the thing about it is this, is that those people who are better educated, more knowledgeable, have to try to pass on the information, knowledge, try to educate those people who are less endowed. That is what is required, and not allow those people to continue to manipulate their minds, bamboozle them, deceive them.
Well, I am not the most knowledgeable, but I certainly, I try to talk to people, especially younger people, every day. You know, you have to take charge of your destiny. Don't feel that our government could do that. Our government will just, its role is just to create that enabling environment for all of us to strive equally. But you have to take that and create your own destiny. You have to take the bull by its horn, your life, your family, your whatever, and you do what you have to do to live the best you can, right? Without hurting or injuring anybody else, any other person.
I would agree with you, but I also believe that there are some people who would need help.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I say that all the time. And where we can help, we help them.
We help them, yeah. But the fact remains is that we must also urge them to empower. We have to help them to empower themselves and to get themselves up by their bootstraps. Because if we don't do that, they wouldn't improve themselves in the state of ignorance, and therefore things would become much more difficult for them, challenging for them, and we don't know what kind of behavior they would demonstrate down the road. So we have a task in terms of looking after the people who are less able to take.
Anyway, caller, we're going for a break. So maybe you could join us on the next side of the hour. When we come back, we will continue with this discussion and many more. We take a break now to pay some bills.
Got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Hey, happy life. How you start this time machine, boy, broski, boy? Turn the ignition. I turn the ignition, I press the gas, I do everything. Look, I'm pushing it out there, it's not working. This car working? Yes, the time machine working. Oh, broski. What? You put the smoker. Smoker? Broski, we poured my smoker. We poured my smoker.
On Sunday, February 1st, 2026, Captain Starbright and Tintin are going to take your kids on a magical journey to the past, present, and future of Carnival, the greatest show on earth. Get ready for Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future.
Get ready for a night of vibes, energy, and soca. Iwer, George, and Friends presents Iwer's Night. Friday, January 23rd at Woodford Cafe. Price Plaza Shaquana starting from 9 p.m. Advance unisex tickets $100 and ladies 2 for 1 for $100. Featuring the Waterlord, Iwer George. And all his friends in the business. KMC. Blackadan, Malik, Anika Berry, J-Del, and straight out of Grenada, the payroll man, Money. I say load me up with the oil. Music by DJ Mervin and DJ Elon, aka Papi. Come out and experience the big man in the business. Iwer George and Friends. Friday, January 23rd, Woodford Cafe, Shaguanas. It's Iwer's Night. See you there.
This carnival season, come hungry and leave in love. Welcome to Flavor, a carnival culinary experience like no other. Every evening, the Queen's Park Savannah transforms into a vibrant village of food, culture, and celebration. Taste the best of Trinidad and Tobago with local street food, gourmet chefs, live cooking demos, cultural performances, and family-friendly experiences, all in one place. Join us at Flavor Village, Queen's Park Savannah, every day from 4 p.m. TNT, you're gonna love this.
Option for a chance to break away with bigger playway prizes this carnival. It's a bigger prize and the money nice in the playway breakaway. We betting hard and we betting hard in the playway breakaway. Players must be 18 years and over. Please play responsibly.
How you just turn on this time machine, boy?
Bro, we have to...
Yes, I know, we had to go, but I had to start it.
On Sunday, February 1st, 2026, Captain Starbright and Tintin are going to take your kids on a magical journey to the past, present, and future of Carnival, the greatest show on earth. Get ready for Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future.
Yeah, but how we going if this time machine not working, boy?
Bro, you're putting me Smolter. It's powered by Smolter.
Oh, it's powered by Smolter. All right, put it. All right, let's go.
Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future. Sunday, February 1st, Skinner Park, San Fernando. Rides, slides, games, soca stars, and more. Parents, watch them learn about their culture and save the future of Carnival. Early bird tickets available online at islandetickets.com or timetolime.com and in store at advertised outlets. Kids Carnival Kingdom. Call 337-KIDS for more information. Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future.
Get ready for the grand opening of Calypso Review 2026 at the Arima Velodrome on Friday, January 23rd from 8 p.m. with Sugar Aloes along with the review stars Pink Panther, Skatey, Devon Seal, Singing Sonia, Michelle Henry, Mighty Diamond, Saint Nick, Nicole Grace, Mace, JD, Fire Tender, Sasha and Moses, Tempo, Black Prince, Nisa, Alana Sinette, Makeda Darius, Lakaman, Mahalia Regis, Orlando Octave, direct from Barbados, guest artist Mighty Gabby, and a surprise guest, music by Len Cummings and the Wailers, chorus by Review Angels, your MCs Marcus Batiste, Tommy Joseph, and the Chairman. Admission $150. Tickets for Arima Velodrome at Michelle's Fashions, Massey Stores Broadway Arima, and at the door till showtime. Then on Saturday, January 24th, it's the grand opening of the Review tent at the SWWTU Hall, right around Port of Spain. Showtime 8 p.m. Admission $200. Tickets for the Port of Spain show at the Review box office, SWWTU Hall.
If you want to feel the heart and soul of TNT Carnival, then come to the National Carnival Commission's John Cupid Carnival Village. There's something for everyone. Safe, secure, and family friendly. There's beautiful handmade local crafts on sale, live performances, kaiso, calypso, comedy, soca, chutney, steel pan, and more. Every night from 6 p.m. It's Everything Carnival. NCC's John Cupid Carnival Village, located inside the Queen's Park Savannah, right behind the paddock area. The perfect spot to ease back and relax. And best of all, admission is free. NCC's John Cupid Carnival Village. You're gonna love this.
What are you doing?
Crunch the ball at KFC is so special to all our we. Like we need blood and we vein, we need KFC again and again. Time to crunch down now. Start to crunch with your crew, look the touchdown now. KFC, time to wave and just bite down now because it's Crunch the ball.
What are you doing?
You know it's Crunch Nival at KFC.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday
from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
The Lion Brand always had a plan, giving great taste all across the land. Pylori, fry, bake, roti, and double stew, made with great taste just for me and you. All through the year and all season, Lion Brand is the reason. When the Lion Brand in the kitchen, we know to mix and move, we're gonna mix and move.
This carnival season, mix and move with the Lion Brand of products, the power behind our great taste traditions.
With the Lion Brand.
Rhythms of Truth, a Kaiso story. The grand opening of the world's #1 Calypso tent, Kaiso Showcase 2026. Friday, 23rd January, 8 p.m., Naparima Bowl, San Fernando. Be prepared for a night of Calypso in all its forms. Social, political commentary, humor, pan, chutney, and suggestive sounds. Featuring performances by Queen Victoria, Lady Adana, Pharaoh, Mr. Shaq, Daddy Chinese, Eunice Peters, Calissa Charles Mapp, Alicia Richards, Il Drago, Mr. Mac, Nicholas Lucas, Rivaldo London, Lady Torlish, Carice Pascal, D. Juba, Roxy Singh, Queen Voice, Brother Ramkey, Cassie, Miss Ross, Empress, Medic, Greg, Mr. Lee, Fire Rain. Guest performances by Dev, Durango, Brio, and Raw Tour. Your MC, Damian Melville. Music by Razor Sharp, Chorus, Kaiso Flames. Tickets, advance $200. At the door, $250. Available at Roast and Toast, Superior Street, San Fernando. Athletes by the Park, Tugo South Central Office, Mezzanine floor, Skinner Park, San Fernando. And from executive members. For more information, call 653-5732. Don't miss Rhythms of Truth, a Kaiso story. See you there.
Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms and the joyous spirit of sweet Calypso. Join us for an unforgettable experience at the semi-final round of the Calypso Monarch competition. This is Calypso Fiesta. 40 Calypso stars will compete on the Skinner Park stage. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmonies. Mark your calendars. Saturday, February 7th, 2026. Join us at Skinner Park in San Fernando for an afternoon of pure Calypso magic. Showtime 2 p.m. Tickets available on islandetickets.com or call us at 623-9660. Don't miss out on a chance to experience the rhythm and joy of the Caribbean in 2026. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmony. This is Calypso Fiesta.
After dynamic opening week performances, this week, Classic Russo returns to their home, City Hall, Knox Street, Port of Spain, with performances by All-Rounder, Crazy, Contender, Manchild, Hamidullah, Lady Wonder, Shirlane, Brian London, Twiggy, Dr. Will B, Charlene Bailey, Master G, Mark Eastman, Garth Sinclair, the youthful Kyle Cowie, Andre Nelson, Nefta Kojo, Jay Edwards, and many others. MC Shirlane Hendrickson, chorus by the Classic Russo Diamonds, music by Classic Russo Orchestra. This Wednesday. Then on Thursday night, it's Judges Night. Admission $200 and 2 persons on 1 ticket for $300. Get your tickets at Crosby St. James, Tuco Office, New City Mall, and at the box office on the day of the show. Both shows 8 p.m. And this Friday, Classic Russo rolls into Point Fortin at the Field of Dreams for another massive show. Get your tickets at $150 and 2 persons on 1 ticket for $200 at the venue Field of Dreams. Box office till showtime at 8 p.m. Classic Russo for Classic Kaiso.
Kaiso Trinidad Trinidad and Tobago. Get ready for words, wit, and raw lyrical fire. It's Kaisorama 2026, the ultimate extempo and freestyle competition where only the sharpest minds survive. On Monday, February 2nd, the battle begins at Radisson Hotel with the preliminary round at 7 p.m. Watch the nation's best extempo giants go head-to-head, thinking fast, rhyming faster. Then it all comes down to the grand final on Tuesday, February 10th, 7 p.m. at Napa. One crown, one champion, pure lyrical mastery. Think you have what it takes? Registration is now open until Friday, January 30th at all Tuco offices. Tickets, preliminary $150, grand final $250. Don't miss the clash of culture, creativity, and calypso brilliance. Kaisorama 2026, where lyrics rule and legends are born.
The Embassy Yacht is back and ready to transform your events into unforgettable experiences. Launched from Kings Wharf, San Fernando, the perfect starting point for an epic experience of luxury, music, and celebration on the open water. By booking our vessel, your event will include a house DJ, state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, callers, listeners, wherever you are, we are back on the Third Empire, and in the studio, umpire in this game is Stephen Matheson. Umpire Stephen Matheson. So, just taking up from where we left off, just before the break, we were talking about some of the concerns, comments by the public, and the analysis of the situation as it relates to understanding the politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me take this call from Mr. President. Mr. President, good evening.
Yeah, man. Good evening, Mr. Stephen Matheson.
Yeah.
Good evening, Upton. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, God. As God listening, I end the conversation with you and Mr. West just now. I come in just about that time because I was on international travels.
Right.
Yeah, I was on the international news and things, putting in some consciousness about Trump.
Clear the way and turn the volume up to the max. It's time for the Soca Pick of the Day, sponsored by NLCB.
A short break again, Mr. President. Yeah.
For the girl and them banana. The girl them say they want banana. Give it to them. If I had banana in your salad, that is a really good dish. Add a little wine and that's all you need.
Have you ever had saltfish on your banana or saltfish on your cassava? Add a little wine and that's all you need. That's all you need.
Mix it up fine. You bring yours, I bring mine. Then add a little wine. Mix it up fine. You bring yours, I bring mine. Then add a little wine. She want a ripe banana. She want a green banana. I got the banana for your saltfish. Let's make it a full course dinner.
Saltfish on your banana, green banana, not ripe banana. Find yourself in the corner, and then you start to dig down in it.
Oh, baby, I loving it. Yes, baby, I loving it. Holy moly, I can't get enough of it. Have you ever had banana in your saltfish? That is a really good dish. Add a little wine and that's all you need.
Have you ever had saltfish on your banana or saltfish on your cassava? Add a little wine and that's all you need.
you ever have banana in your saltfish? That is a really good dish. Add a little wine and that's all you need.
Have you ever had saltfish on your banana or saltfish on your cassava? Add a little wine and that's all you need. That's all you need.
Mix it up fine. You bring yours, I bring mine. Then add a little wine. Mix it up fine. You bring yours, I bring mine. Then add a little wine.
Banana, sit that thing, make a banana. She want the banana. Oh, hey, hold on. She want the banana. Oh, a princess saltfish. She want the banana and saltfish, daddy.
And that is your Soca Pick of the Day. Keep it locked right here for more of the biggest hits and the sweetest vibes, sponsored by NLCB.
Breakaway. Play away. 1, 2, breakaway. It's a bigger prize and the money nice in the play away breakaway. We betting hard and we betting hard in the play away breakaway.
It's Bacchanal in the Playway Breakaway. Win up to 30 to 1 on the base, 130 to 1 with the Juve ball, 135 to 1 with the steel pan ball, and 150 to 1 with the soccer ball. Wager on at least one mega mix option for a chance to break away with bigger Playway prizes this carnival.
It's a bigger prize and the money nice in the play away breakaway. We betting hard and we betting hard in the play away breakaway.
Players must be 18 years and over. Please play responsibly.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and that was the NLCB pick of the day. Very interesting song, bumper, a culinary experience, I should say. Banana in your saltfish, green banana in your saltfish. So I mean, we love saltfish and cassava and bananas and that kind of thing. So I guess that's what he was talking about. Good afternoon, caller. Caller?
Yes, good afternoon, Empire Madison.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I think it's you alone, so you're behind. Well, you're behind the stumps by yourself
Yeah.
today.
Sometimes you get too.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, very good topic, and Mr. West, as usual, made a significant contribution. But what I have to add is that, you see, it comes back to our favorite Westminster system that we operate under. We live in a plural or heterogeneous society, but we operate under a Westminster winner-takes-all system. Right? Remember, there's no quota in allocation of seats in the parliament. You know, there's no quota system under the Westminster, unlike the proportional representation system. Where people are appointed based on the votes.
Yes.
Right. On the votes on the victory on the votes coming out from the national polls.
Right, and some people say that might be a more equitable system, but nonetheless, the system we operate under is the winner takes all. The first past the post.
Yes. So we'll always have these issues. For example, after the Hewden Commission in 1973, Dr. Williams said proportional representation will be like a dagger in the heart of the PNM, and he never accepted that report. Right?
Well, to a large extent, if you look at the results of the last few elections, it really will be, because if we go proportional representation, the party that will always be in office will be the other party, the party that is in office now.
Yeah. So that is one. That is the fate we have to suffer. Just because I don't know when last, I can't say when last a national census was done here, but my figures, and that was some years ago, it was the population was 39.6 African and 40.3 East Indian. I don't get any update. Right? And you have to realize, based on the closeness, right? It's always a struggle for political power and economic power. Right? So we'll always be in election mode here. Always it will be like that. Right? But I must say I am more relaxed now than for the past 9 years, because I don't have to study like this property tax. I don't have to study water rate. going up and electricity rate going up, right? I mean, gas has, super gas has been reduced, right? And well, people, the school children, they got their laptops and things, right? So I mean, things tough, but I have a little bit more relaxed and thing because of you know, as I said, the Prime Minister, what they call a moral philosopher, and all that means is that is a person who cares for other people, especially people who downtrodden and who in need, and there's a difference also, right? So we have to take all these things into consideration, but that proportional representation system versus Westminster system, you see, the academics here not delving into that at all, staying away from that kind of thing, right? And that's why the reason we had to go to Jamaica to get the ZOSO, right?
Well, if one group might want to stay away from that, given the statistics and given the history of voting in Trinidad and Tobago, might be the group that is in opposition, because I've not seen that working for them.
Yeah. Well, Forbes Burnham did it in Guyana in the 70s, and he came up with this cooperative republic, and so far, I mean, you have the issues, but apparently it working to a great degree in Guyana.
Mm-hmm. Well,
right?
Well, yeah.
Right? So
again, for the same reason why it will work in Trinidad in that same way.
Yeah, yeah. So that is right. So we cannot get away from the election mode. Now I want to say something. I see Barbados have their national elections and early elections on the 11th of next month.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it's a big fight because there is a unity party based on 3 insurgent parties. Insurgent means small parties. They amalgamate and they fight in this as a unity party against the BLP and the DLP. So we have to look out and see what's happening there.
Yeah, because it's votes going on split.
Of course.
You know, and when that happens, you know, things can. If, you know, we say the same thing in Trinidad sometimes, and it doesn't end up working out like that, because if you remember from our 22, 23, you know, you had a lot of small parties, you know, contesting, making noise, the song is very relevant. And what happened after in 24, in late 24, 25, they consolidate, supporting one or the other. Most of them would have supported UNC. So,
but of course,
we don't know that may happen again.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Williams called all these other small parties Macafushet party. They mean it's small. You know, they're almost insignificant. But you have right now you have to amalgamate as a small party. No small party can win, or no group of small parties can win no election here in this country again. You have to go either one way or the other way, right? Because the unless you come with a tremendous charismatic leader in one of those parties who could draw away crowds or from both the major parties, right? And we're not throwing up no charismatic leaders in Trinidad and by extension the Caribbean right now, right? Now we have this party named the Patriotic Front. As far as I know, the Patriotic Front was a party formed in Zimbabwe with Robert Mugabe and Joshua Nkomo under a unity party they call the ZANU PF, ZANU and PF, which is a joint party. And apparently they decided to share power, but Mugabe got the first. He got the first. He got the first taste of the power, right? And then Joshua Nkomo never got on rotation, or prime ministership on rotation, and that is why Mugabe stayed all these years until he died with in Zimbabwe. But inside in Mugabe party, there was a fellow called Morgan Sangarai. That Sangarai is T, the T silent, Sangari. And he was a thorn in Mugabe till until Mugabe offered him prime ministership, right? And that was the end of it, because he had the movement for national transformation in Zimbabwe. That was a thorn in the tail of Mugabe. So that is as far as that is concerned. So we have to look at our system and see what could happen. Now, finally, I want to say, now, a caller called, and he mentioned, or he described me as a 70-year-old man. I want to tell that Siaman, I don't know if he's a Siaman, because the last Siaman I know we had in Trinidad was a man named Sean Harry Banks. His name was Sean Lal Singh Harry Banks.
So I always thought you was about 50.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I crossed 50. No. Well, he said I'm 70. The gentleman described me as a 70-year-old. I am 68. I mentioned that before. I do have the age.
Well,
right? So those are
too far.
Yeah, but still, you can't do this kind of thing. You don't come on public radio and sign your name to people, kind of thing. You are no CMan, right? You're not Harry Banks, right? So that is how it is. So when people you see this debasing kind of thing, and that is what caused this sort of commotion, that sensation there, the people are debasing one another. Right?
Well, the thing is, I like to deal with issues, and I started off this evening by denouncing the sort of attitude that you hear, or the kind of rhetoric you hear from people, especially different party supporters on both sides, that kind of give the impression that we have probably a race problem, right? And it really stems from the ZOSO, the Zone of Special Operation, and what people think, or where people think the government will be placing the most amount of emphasis on in terms of crime and that kind of thing. But let me just say this, right? So we had the feeling side in office for 9 years, and crime would have increased or stayed a certain level for that period, right? And it would have increased from the period before, as a matter of fact, right? So it increased exponentially to some extent. That this is murders and serious crimes. And they would have tried all kind of different things, right? We are seeing where this government came into office, and for the most part of 2025, we was under a state of emergency because it started under the PNM and it was continued almost to the end of the year. Well, not almost, but to the end of the year under the UNC. We had a decrease for whatever reason. After the elections, we had a stabilization, I would say, of the murder rate, right? Which is one of the barometers we use in Trinidad and Tobago to measure serious crime, right? And this government removing the state of emergency and probably putting something else that would not be a state of emergency, but to me it will have some control over certain communities, at-risk communities, or areas where they think may have a propensity for certain kind of crimes. And we having a problem with that. And I'm wondering why.
You see, again, because of the politics, everything is turned into a political bacchanal in this place. Again, it goes back because of the plural society. Or the plural society is the same as heterogeneous society. Because I am a man in tried an Operation Baghdad and Operation Anaconda. And those things never did anything to reduce crime in the country.
None of the things that they tried, all kind of operation, all kind of special this and I'm saying that, we need to identify what the problem is. Now, the problem may not be, they may not be able to solve the problem with whatever operation they get in trying to initiate. Because to me, I see crime as a bigger thing, we have a serious part to play in crime and criminal activities. We have to change our mindsets. To a large extent, some other things have to fix to make people more comfortable, because to some extent crime will go on if people are not comfortable. You understand Maslow hierarchy and needs, right? And
yeah, of course,
to some extent, crime will go on, or crime will be facilitated by the feeling and the position, the disposition some people are in, right? Not the serious crime, but people will do things to live sometimes, right? So we have to find a way to solve some of those things on the lower end. But in general, I want to give the government the opportunity, any government, if the PNM had come into office and do that, I wouldn't have a problem. Whatever you could do to solve it, I'm seeing certain things working by this government, this administration. So why are we so selective in the way we deal with government initiative, especially to save our lives?
Again, the basis is in the plural society, right? That plural society is not an easy structure, you know, right? And I show you the tightness of the both ethnic groupings in terms of the national population, right? So all these issues, people have to be universities, UTT and UE should be, doing special studies and research in coming to solution, right? Otherwise, we'll find ourselves from day one.
200 plus lives were saved last year, you know that? 200 plus families, right?
Of course.
Didn't go through that grief that most people who suffered, a family member being killed, suffered last year. 200 and something families.
And that is why you have to give the government support for effort.
Yeah.
Right? Right? They must be given applause for support and recognition for support. Yeah. So that is how it is.
Yeah, I see that.
That is how
it's
it is.
unfortunate we look at things through the lens of race all the time, and I mean, clearly, if the statistics are showing that certain kind of crime is taking place in a particular area, and I'm not saying Laventille and Mova and that kind of thing, because to me, crime in Laventille and Mova, that was a thing of the past. To the extent that the kind of crime you have in house breaking and home invasion, and you don't have them thing in Mova and Laventille. I ain't hearing that. Eh?
Recently.
Huh?
Recently, you're not hearing about it in Mova and Laventille at all.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the government had to concentrate on areas where there are serious crime and the propensity for it. You know, places like any more urban sectors like Arima and that kind of thing. You have areas, in those kind of areas, communities in those areas, you have some serious issues.
You have to deal with it. In fact, the early sociology... Yeah, the early fathers of sociology, Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau, they call that, based on society, dysfunctional society, they call for a Leviathan, which was a priest to bring back the society to ordered structure.
Yeah, without structure, there'll be chaos, there'll be anarchy.
Of course. So you have to draw on people with academics and things to come up with solutions, right? That is what academia is about. People coming up with solutions. In fact, remember Karl Marx said, right? I'm not preaching Marxism, but Karl Marx said society have two classes, which is a bourgeoisie or proletariat. But he said inside the proletariat, there's what they call the lumpen proletariat, which is a critical element inside of the proletariat. Right? And look how long Karl Marx died, says 1883, because he lived from 1818 to 1883. And his even studied is the same thing today, with that lumpen proletariat. Right? So you have people of governments have to get sociologists and occupied to come up with solutions.
Even
to
even
deal with
that Marxist model is reflected somewhat in the Chinese model. We call them communists, but they're not really communists, really. But to a large extent, that kind of control is needed in society, because with that kind of order, you have everybody living a fairly decent, at least some of the things you don't have to worry about. If you put the social structures in place, and you put the kind of thing that I've spoken about here years ago on various radio programs, where I talk about knowing every single citizen. We are 1.3 million people. You have companies in the world with more people in it, human resource, than we have citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. And they know everybody. They know everything what's going on. They know when a man about to fall through the cracks. We have to put those. We are living in 2026, bro. Right? And there are systems to fix the problems that we have. You could purchase in a box on Amazon.
Of course, because of under the Chinese system, the Chinese Politburo, they monitor everybody. When the Chinese working in Trinidad or on a job site, and you see they work in group, a member of the Politburo reporting their activities back to mainland China.
Exactly.
Oh,
they have the statistics in real time.
Yeah. So
how much time you could commit crime in a system like that? Once. And that one time you'll get catch.
Yeah, there's a discipline kind of a discipline system, discipline political system. Yeah, very disciplined system. So because our country really can operate in a dysfunctional system with all kind of deviant behavior and all kind of thing. It really can operate like that, right?
And while I myself have a problem with some of the traffic regulations and that kind of thing, there's a need for that, because to me that will bring about a certain kind of order in small ways that will will extend to the widest parts of the society. People need to understand that we need order.
We must have proper behaviors. If we do not have proper behaviors, the whole place will be in a state of anarchy.
Road March Energy? Check. Royal Castle flavor? Double check. Let's dive into the Royal Castle Road March song of the day on the Street 919 FM.
When the carnival pace pick up, Royal Castle is the most tasty and convenient stop.
Welcome to Royal Castle's drive-thru.
Whether we head into the beach with chicken buckets and sides, having a house line with all the combos and sandwiches, or we stop by the castle to eat before the fete. Royal Castle local flavor is always part of the carnival.
Stormtroopers, trucks big like Imperial battle cruisers. Any kind of space, bigger shift how we maneuvers. When we're on the scene, call we the people movers. Hailing from the dark of the country, full suit of black, vengeful, power hungry. None Honda, none of that, Vader name Bungie. When you see me step into your party, everybody raise everything, raise everything. Then we use the force, just lift up everything. Let me see you start turn up like an engine. Let me see you start turn up like an engine. Raise everything, raise everything. Then we use the force, start lift up everything. Wing, everyone start turn up like an engine. Two shot a rum, we bad like that. Vader, Vader, rag swinging like lightsaber, saber. Go and tell your friends and your neighbor, neighbor. They pick up all the weight on the radar, radar. Ooh, we bad like that. Vader, Vader, rag swinging like lightsaber, saber. Come and tell your friends and your neighbor, neighbor. When you see the movement on the radar, radar's all the way moving things with the force. Move that tent with the force, lift that fence with the force, move that tongue with the force, sing it loud with the force, rock the place with the force, shake the place with the force. Yo, tap into the force, step into your territory. We made it order, then we make it mandatory. This is the celebration, we're here for glory. And when we start the whole thing, we never sorry. Invade you like a spaceship. All rebel alliance have to leave when the place lift. Real deal, tell them nothing, you no makeshift. We are the vibe, everybody, when you see we just raise everything. Raise everything. Then we use the force, just lift up everything. Let me see you start, turn up like an engine. Let me see you start, turn up like an engine. Raise everything. Raise everything. Then we use the force, start, lift up everything. Wing. Everyone start, turn up like an engine. No shut a run. We bad like that, Vader. Vader. Rag swinging like lightsaber. Saber. Go and tell your friends and your neighbor. Neighbor. They pick up all the way on the radar. Radar. Ooh, we bad like that, Vader. Vader. Rag swinging like lightsaber. Saber. Go and tell your friends and your neighbor. Neighbor. When you see the movement on the radar. Radar. All the way moving things with the force. Move that tent with the force. Lift that fence with the force. Move that cloud with the force. Sing it loud with the force. Rock the place with the force. Shake the place with the force. Yo, tap into the force. 10,000 soca stormtroopers. Trucks big like Imperial battle cruisers. Any kind of space we can shift how we maneuvers. When we're on the scene, call we the people movers. Hailing from the dark of the country. Full suit of black, vengeful, power hungry. None harder than a dark Vader named Bungie. When you see me step into your party, everybody raise everything. Raise everything. Then we use the force, just lift up everything. Let me see you start, turn up like an engine. Let me see you start, turn up like an engine. Raise everything. Raise everything.
That was the Royal Castle Road March Song of the Day on the Street 919 FM.
When the carnival pace pick up, Royal Castle is the most tasty and convenient stop.
Welcome to Royal Castle's drive-thru.
Whether we heading to the beach with chicken buckets and sides, having a house line with all the combos and sandwiches, or we stop by the castle to eat before the fete. Royal Castle local flavor is always part of the carnival.
Right, callers and listeners, you can rejoin us. We just came from that Royal Castle pick of the day, and certainly we were discussing governance in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me take back Mr. President. Mr. President, sorry about that earlier on. Those are bills we pay around this time.
I know all of that. Yeah, you have to laugh because I have real patience for that. People think all kind of thing I say, I'm out loud and this and that. I don't angry, you know. I will just be taking in the consciousness of people or the lack of consciousness. Right. And I come in the program and I end up calling you. And as you say, I get cut off by the advertisement.
Yeah.
But then again, let me talk something. You see, lack of appreciation to people, I think is one of the most daring things that we have to look at. Because in this society, that is the problem. We don't appreciate one another. And if we're not doing that, people just talk about love. But we can't have love if you're not appreciating, because the basic word before love is appreciation. And if we're not having that for one another, then we can't have a society going down good. I hear West say certain things earlier on, and even Mr. However his name, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, the last brother who was just...
Lakota.
Yeah, Lakota. Now the both of them come on. Lakota must be about 20 minutes if you get my time the last thing to this one. You consider about 20 minutes he talk, and then same thing with West. But it have people like myself who just give solutions. And in giving solutions, I may only get about 7 minutes or 2 minutes, or I don't even talk so much. Necessarily, I don't talk so much because I understand how one word a second. I just learn them things so I could talk and speed words so they could come down fast too. I could talk a little longer thing because I want to really express.
Well, you know, you is one of the grandfathers of this radio station, so I give you a time. I mean,
all right, and I appreciate it because I must say what I have to say. Because if we're looking for a better society, a ground troop people, ground roots people like myself, to appreciate the capitalists, to appreciate how plenty money running the country. And plenty people say that they're supposed to get it. We're supposed to be more contract educated and so forth. But then the poor man seeing all the corruption, all the destruction over here. And he can't reach to a point to tell the richer man or the man, the academic man on it, what to do or what not to do. But the academic man and the rich man coming down to put down all kind of talk about on me, who is the lower man. And I don't can't do nothing about it. But he has no solution. He ain't putting out no solution. All he could do is to talk me down. When a fella like me, you know, who come out and put out a solution, nobody hear no solution. It really have a statement saying that you don't hear we words and we ideas is being neglected. And that is what's going on in this society. So how could you get a good society when you're talking like how Mr. West was talking? How could you get a good society when people in this society, the despondent, the neglecting situations of what the hierarchies or what matters and them putting down on we? What kind of society? No appreciation to the poor class of people knowing that the position they are in, not because you are too academic and player where you bid any game, 2 house and 2 big car, 2 and 2 big money. And all you're doing in our society is to put down the small man. I could say, I don't care which government, this government doing the same thing, and through the eyes of many we could see it. Now I'm talking about racism. African not in no war. African under servitude in the world. People wouldn't, and African talking against what he under. So these songs, it's racial, it's because he's talking against it. He don't want nothing. Everybody saying nuclear, who going to the moon, who going to the stars, I will him now trying to see if he can build up Africa over there. Right now, I wonder if anybody know the ICC put on a warrant on Trump internationally. He can't visit nowhere until they out for him right now. They have a warrant out for him anywhere he go because they charge him for reckless leadership. I can't talk all the words, but it's out there, let me see it. The ICC charging him for reckless leadership all around the world. Plenty of people are like who we have here, who follow up Trump. Nobody will just follow up Trump because they will find a separate problem of the ICC also. A mechanism happening right now that Trump in trouble. So how much are we looking at that? How much are we reading it up and acknowledging it?
But you know, in Trump world, power is everything, right?
Yeah, but Trump getting some people against him right now, which is the international world.
Plenty people against him. Even Europe going against him for Greenland right now. But Trump world, power is everything. Might is right. So the thing is, the ICC can't do Trump anything.
Well, all right. You know how they fix it.
If they could have done Trump anything,
find a certain problem because the international law will be upon them.
If they could have done Trump anything, they would have certainly dealt with Netanyahu. Netanyahu traveling like normal, right? They would have certainly done with Putin, dealt with Putin, right? So the thing is, in this world, might is right. The ICC and the UN and all of them are kind of toothless bulldogs right now because they could only do things to weaker societies like Trinidad and you know other places where they impose sanctions and they do things and we have to follow. But America don't follow nothing.
All right. Well, I will hold that in consciousness of you say something being that academically acute. But I watching and seeing that something has to happen, and if it really could happen within the program according to what I read and see, I will appreciate it and I bring it out. And I like how you put it to me and everybody listening. So we will watch because there is a warrant out for him presently internationally. And I'm watching to see how exactly it could eventually end up to be.
When in 2022 when Putin went into Ukraine and Ukraine accused them of taking all the children and Ukrainian children and taking them. Putin claimed that he would have done that through for the safety of the children, right? And for the most part, they were children of Russians who were living in Ukraine. What happened on the ICC? What happened? What did the UN say about that?
So would you accept that the situation of Putin with Ukraine is totally a different situation of versus Trump,
of course,
and the international world, even how he treating the situation with the Gaza and Israel, how he treating the situation with Iran.
Listen,
so would you, because he having a world power that the world right now seeing he going too far, even the position of going to Greenland right now,
well,
in the position that he going to Greenland, and Putin, and even the place where Greenland in. Up the UK right now, very serious about that situation going up.
It's interesting, Mr. President, that it's interesting that Europe now is now feeling what everybody else felt. What Venezuela felt, what the Caribbean felt, what the people in Gaza felt, they're now feeling it because...
And that's why I tell you the ICC getting serious, and I would watch that to see how serious it is.
Trump is on a trajectory. He wants to take Greenland for whatever reason. He say Trump already has bases in Greenland. They already kind of literally have good agreements with Greenland for America to existence, but Trump said
hearing some kind of thing, I can't talk it yet, but hearing some kind of words just come out internationally.
Trump indicated that that is not enough. He wants to own Greenland because agreements could be severed. Agreements could end. Politicians could change their mind, but if I own it, then I could do what I want and nobody could say anything. And this is
right now Putin breaks in that in a serious kind of way because Putin talking from comment if it's going to have it, that could be the Third World War because there's a serious matter between them and that public.
Well, the thing is, Trump wants for national security, his national security's interests. He's seen China and Russia developing the that side.
But then that have a serious implication because the fact remains is that United Kingdom and all that area, even Putin and all of them here, this thing have a serious implication because religiously, them still control a Roman ideology. While as Trump, in the measure of United States of America, is Jews. So believe me, there is also a religious war in the whole program of that economical programming and political programming. Let me leave that for now. We were talking about Trinidad and Tobago. And if we don't treat we people good enough, that we can really say that we're getting satisfaction from the economic system, equity, justice. These are the things that we want out here in our system. Otherwise, if we don't get that, most of people living by any means necessary. This thing with Sister Camilla doing is how some looking good, but I ain't taking promises. Because while she doing what is she doing? She raising up expenses on Trinidad people, which will create crime eventually. All the law are trying to say that low crime, that expense you're putting on we will create crime for those who cannot take it and will go to the extreme to gain what they have taken because survival is the necessary point here. And once that is necessary, you don't know. It have a lot of criminals out there. You don't know what they will do. I'll leave you with that.
Okay, caller.
All right, my friend.
And I agree with some of
thank you for the little moments. We had a nice chat.
I agree partially with your thesis.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, caller. Caller, good evening. KFC.
Good afternoon, Marcusson. I know when I could drink Marcusson. But Marcusson, with them laws this government bringing is to oppress the poor. I support this government and I feel them betray, abuse, and victimize. Because I had a certain incident through social development. About 3 years plus, the former regime said it literally said I was working. And I was fighting my case through by the ombudsman and this and that. And my MP is the Minister of Social Development. I knocking on doors and crying out. I bring the information to she. Like she blow black smoke in my face. Now she send my file by the Attorney General now. So when they come down all them CPEP and European forestry and bringing them zones, them war now, them zone up thing now, to target certain communities. Who is still giving out jobs with the jobs? Look, I seen activists who fight and tell and put this party in power. Down by the parliament, they crying all kind of thing. Today and all. I seen activists and all down there. I am and fight and tell on this radio station like I cut track for booty terror now.
Hey.
You laughing. But I don't understand how the politics is.
No, I understand.
The politics
I have always said that, you know, you can't do things in isolation. So you had to fix certain other things first before you do. So I am agreeing with you and all the other callers like you who say that, I mean, we in a situation where you're kind of overheating certain parts of the society and putting them in a box, you're stifling them, and they'll try to get out eventually, which could mean crime. But I don't.
Look, I was fighting for my thing. Like those I red tape than a black smoke. I stand up for the job.
But I don't see this. I don't see this as going to be sustained. I don't see this, all these kind of thing as being going to be sustained. I think they are trying to change culture, they're trying to change habits, they're trying to do certain things, and I don't see it going for more than 6 months or so. This is my opinion, the way I see things. So,
but can tell me, anytime I go the bygone, the bloody seed on you? Well, let's speak out the blacklisting, you know?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. I am not. I'm a critical thinker. I don't say things for any favor or in any way. I say things as I see it, and that has always been me. that has always been my politics. How I see things, right? So I am not one of those sycophants.
You take no side.
Yeah, I am not a sycophant.
You don't know sycophant.
Yeah, but we will come back on the other side of the hour. We're going to take a break now, and to the callers who are really trying to get on, I will give you priority when we come back on. So keep calling. When we come back on, we will continue this discussion. We take a break now.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Get ready for a night of vibes, energy, and soca. Iwer, George, and Friends presents Iwer's Night. Friday, January 23rd at Woodford Cafe. Price Plaza Shaquana starting from 9 p.m. Advance unisex tickets $100 and ladies 2 for 1 for $100. Featuring the Waterlord, Iwer George. And all his friends in the business. KMC. Blackadan, Malik, Anika Berry, J-Del, and straight out of Grenada, the payroll man, Money. I say load me up with the oil. Music by DJ Mervin and DJ Elon, aka Papi. Come out and experience the big man in the business. Iwer, George, and Friends. Friday, January 23rd, Woodford Cafe, Shaguanas. It's Iwer's Night. See you there.
What are you doing? Crunchnival at KFC is so special to all our we. Like we need blood and we vein. We need KFC again and again. Time to crunch down now. Start to crunch with your crew, look the touchdown now. KFC, time to wave and just bite down now because it's Crunchnival.
What are you doing? Do what you want with the crunch, don't fight it. KFC, Carnival, when you bite it. Flavor, take off, like rocket. It's a Crunchnival with the baddest buckle it. Bada ding, bada boom. Make best, make room. The steam finger licking. It's a Crunchnival. The KFC chicken joy carnival and every crunch with KFC. When the taste moves your waist, you know it's Crunchnival at KFC.
Breakaway. 1, 2, 3, go. It's a bigger prize and the money nice in the play with. 150 to 1 with the Soca Ball. Wager on at least one Mega Mix option for a chance to break away with bigger playway prizes this carnival.
It's a bigger prize and the money nice in the playway breakaway. We betting hard and we betting hard in the playway breakaway.
Players must be 18 years and over. Please play responsibly.
How you just turn on this time machine, boy?
Bro, we have to...
Yes, I know, we have to go, but I have to start it.
On Sunday, February 1st, 2026, Captain Starbright and Tim are going to take your kids on a magical journey to the past, present, and future of Carnival, the greatest show on earth. Get ready for Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future.
Yeah, but how are we going if this time machine not working, boy?
Bro, you're putting me Smolter. It's powered by Smolter.
Oh, it's powered by Smolter. All right, put it. All right, let's go.
Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future. Sunday, February 1st, Skinner Park, San Fernando. Rides, slides, games, soca stars, and more. Parents, watch them learn about their culture and save the future of Carnival. Early bird tickets available online at islandetickets.com or timetolime.com and in store at advertised outlets. Kids Carnival Kingdom. Call 337-KIDS for more information. Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future.
Get ready for the grand opening of Calypso Review 2026 at the Arriba Velodrome on Friday, January 23rd from 8 p.m. with Sugar Aloes along with the review stars Pink Panther, Skatey, Devon Seal, Singing Sonia, Michelle Henry, Mighty Diamond, Saint Nick, Nicole Grace, Mace, JD, Fire Tender, Sasha and Moses, Tempo, Black Prince, Nisa, Alana Sinette, Makeda Darius, Lycaman, Mahalia Regis,
Orlando Octave.
Direct from Barbados, guest artist Mighty Gabby, and a surprise guest. Music by Len Cummings and the Wailers. Chorus by Review Angels. Your MCs Marcus Batiste, Tommy Joseph, and the Chairman. Admission $150. Tickets for Arriba Velodrome at Michelle's Fashions, Massey Stores Broadway Arima, and at the door till showtime. Then on Saturday, January 24th, it's the grand opening of the Review tent at the SWWTU Hall, Rights and Road, Port of Spain. Showtime 8 p.m. Admission $200. Tickets for the Port of Spain show at the Review box office, SWWTU Hall.
If you want to feel the heart and soul of TNT Carnival, then come to the National Carnival Commission's John Cupid Carnival Village. There's something for everyone. Safe, secure, and family friendly. There's beautiful handmade local crafts on sale, live performances, kaiso, calypso, comedy, soca, chutney, steel pan, and more. Every night from 6 p.m. It's Everything Carnival. NCC's John Cupid Carnival Village, located inside the Queen's Park Savannah, right behind the paddock area. The perfect spot to ease back and relax. And best of all, admission is free. NCC's John Cupid Carnival Village. You're gonna love this.
Rhythms of Truth, a Kaiso story. The grand opening of the world's #1 Calypso tent, Kaiso Showcase 2026. Friday, 23rd January, 8 p.m. Naparima Bowl, San Fernando. Be prepared for a night of Calypso in all its forms. Social, political commentary, humor, pan, chutney, and suggestive sounds. Featuring performances by Queen Victoria, Lady Adana, Pharaoh, Mr. Shaq, Daddy Chinese, Eunice Peters, Calissa Charles Mapp, Alicia Richards, El Drago, Mr. Mac, Nicholas Lucas, Rivaldo London, Lady Tornish, Carice Pascal, D. Juba, Roxy Singh, Queen Voice, Brother Ramkey, Cassie, Miss Ross, Empress, Medic, Greg, Mr. Lee, Fire Rain. Guest performances by Dev, Durango, Prio, and Raw Tour. Your MC, Damian Melville. Music by Razor Sharp, Chorus, Kaiso Flames. Tickets, advance $200. At the door, $250. Available at Roast and Toast, Superior Street, San Fernando. Athletes by the Park, Tuco South Central Office, Mezzanine Floor, Skinner Park, San Fernando. And from executive members. For more information, call 653-5732. Don't miss Rhythms of Truth, a Kaiso story. See you there.
When the carnival pace pick up, Royal Castle is the most tasty and convenient stop.
Welcome to Royal Castle's drive-thru.
Whether we heading to the beach with chicken buckets and sides, having a house line with all the combos and sandwiches, or we stop by the castle to eat before the fete. Royal Castle local flavor is always part of the carnival.
The Lion Brand always had a plan, giving great taste all across the land. Pelori fry, bake roti and double stew, made with great taste just for me and you. All through the year and all season, Lion Brand is the reason. When the Lion Brand in the kitchen, we know to mix and move, we're gonna mix and move.
This carnival season, mix and move with the Lion brand of products, the power behind our great taste traditions.
With the Lion Brand.
Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms and the joyous spirit of sweet calypso. Join us for an unforgettable experience at the semi-final round of the Calypso Monarch competition. This is Calypso Fiesta. 40 Calypso stars will compete on the Skinner Park stage. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmonies. Mark your calendars. Saturday, February 7th, 2026. Join us at Skinner Park in San Fernando for an afternoon of pure Calypso magic. Showtime 2 p.m. Tickets available on islandetickets.com or call us at 623-9660. Don't miss out on a chance to experience the rhythm and joy of the Caribbean in 2026. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmony. This is Calypso Fiesta.
After dynamic opening week performances, this week, Classic Russo returns to their home, City Hall, Knox Street, Port of Spain, with performances by All-Rounder, Crazy, Contender, Manchild, Hamidullah, Lady Wonder, Shirlane, Brian London, Twiggy, Dr. Will B, Charlene Bailey, Master G, Mark Eastman, Garth Sinclair, the youthful Kyle Cowie, Andre Nelson, Nefta Kojo, Jay Edwards, and many others. MC Shirlane Hendrickson, chorus by the Classic Russo Diamonds, music by Classic Russo Orchestra this Wednesday. Then on Thursday night, it's Judges Night. Admission $200 and 2 persons on 1 ticket for $300. Get your tickets at Crosby St. James, Tuco Office, New City Mall, and at the box office on the day of the show. Both shows 8 p.m. And this Friday, Classic Russo rolls into Point Fortin at the Field of Dreams for another massive show. Get your tickets at $150 and 2 persons on 1 ticket for $200 at the venue Field of Dreams box office till showtime at 8 p.m. Classic Russo for Classic Kaiso.
Trinidad and Tobago, get ready for words, blitz, and raw lyrical fire. It's Kaiso-Rama 2026, the ultimate extempo and freestyle competition where only the sharpest minds survive. On Monday, February 2nd, the battle begins at Radisson Hotel with the preliminary round at 7 p.m. Watch the nation's best extempo giants go head-to-head, thinking fast, rhyming faster. Then it all comes down to the grand final on Tuesday, February 10th, 7 p.m. at Napa. One crown, one champion. Pure lyrical mastery. Think you have what it takes? Registration is now open until Friday, January 30th at all Tuco offices. Tickets preliminary $150, grand final $250. Don't miss the clash of culture, creativity, and calypso brilliance. Kaiso-Rama 2026, where lyrics rule and legends are born. Kaiso-Rama!
Everyone get in a rage, like an escape from a cage. We don't care who fall, when we run in the wall. We go leave the roof, when we lift off the roof. Hey, Mr. Promoter, you don't get your quota. And how come the place, in a disaster? You is the chapter master from the area, but I take away it. You is a hypocrite. Come now, the way, mash up the place. Everybody, cheer up the place. That's your pussy, turn up the place. We got permission to F up the place. Then we start a riot. The place too quiet. Everyone get in a rage, like the escape from a cage. We don't care who fall, when we run in the wall. We go leave the roof, when we lift off the roof. Hey young lady, you're looking so pretty, and I find you looking cute in your jab suit. I go tell you straight, I want back my money. Party done early. And the police come and run me. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's right? In my pocket, I have a dynamite. Come now the way. Mash up the place. Everybody, tear up the place. That's not what say. Turn up the place. We got permission to F up the place. Then we start a riot. The place was quiet. Everyone getting a rage like they escape from a cage. We don't care who fall when we run in the wall. We go leave the roof when we lift off the roof. Keep moving. Mash up the place. Tear up the place. Turn up the place. We got permission to F up the place.
This carnival season, come hungry and leave in love. Welcome to Flavor, a carnival culinary experience like no other. Every evening, the Queen's Park Savannah transforms into a vibrant village of food, culture, and celebration. Taste the best of Trinidad and Tobago with local street food, gourmet chefs, live cooking demos, cultural performances, and family-friendly experiences, all in one place. Join us at Flavor Village, Queen's Park Savannah, every day from 4 p.m. TNT, you go love this.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am back after the drinks break, and I am here to engage you, the public, on critical issues affecting Trinidad and Tobago and our thoughts on it. Good evening, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Matheson, and good afternoon to your listener.
Yes, good afternoon.
You know, Mr. Matheson, this government really not serious at all. They're not serious at all, right? As you just continue to say, some of the issues that we have could be solved by just purchasing something that probably already exists out there for you to just buy it and implement it. One of the challenges we continue to face, right, is these politicians have a totally different attitude when they're in opposition as opposed to when they give them power, right? Because all of a sudden you have PNM acting like them as the defenders of the poor, when they didn't have that similar attitude when they had power. But the thing about this present government is they are implementing things, and it appears that it is not really targeting the issue, but more so the population. Now, it's one thing to call us a lawless dump, right? And you want to have zones of special operations. But one thing in my mind is that I am thinking that you are supposed to be aggressively going behind or going after or putting things in place to deal with the allegations that you all would have made against your colleagues on the opposing side. There is no aggression in that regard. And that is what we continue to face as a nation here in Trinidad and Tobago, right? It appears that the lawless dump is the drivers responsible for it. And in all their thinking and planning, they ain't thinking about who giving the people who are in charge of fixing the roads 3 to 7 days to fix the roads and them on the road. Or they give Ministry of Works or whoever has any time frame to fix the road to make sure they can drive properly on it. But as
Fali said that he, with every secretary that was appointed, he given them 9 months. 9 months, and if he didn't see the kind of success he's expecting, he will move them. I suspect the UNC is doing I suspect Kamala is doing the same thing.
No, I doubt that very much. I doubt Kamala is doing the same thing. Maybe if there is enough noise, she would do as she would normally do and probably hold her hand to save face and pull back or whatever. But Kamala can't step in Tobago's shoes really and truly in terms of how Tobago does operate.
But you had to understand. You had to understand the disposition, but you had to understand that too. I mean, in all fairness.
Are they there?
I know we want to walk in South
You there?
All right.
You there,
Yeah,
Paul?
Mr.
Yeah. So certain things are happening, and you know, I myself would like to see. I want to give the UNC or the government the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe they know what they're doing and where they're going. It's still kind of young, given the disposition that they are faced with. So I could understand certain things. And everybody had to, who in government, we put in government to fix certain things. So let's see how I'm looking at the trajectory and I'm seeing that things could happen, right? My only problem is that, I feel that we should try to fix some other things first, right?
Most definitely.
Deal with the things that will not create the problems that we have right now. And we all know what they are.
Things have to be Mr. Matheson. Some of the things have to be addressed at the same time because we, the citizenry, will believe that we in a cycle where every single body that you put in power is only targeting one aspect of what people consider to be crime.
But what are you talking about in particular? The zone of special operations?
No, not that in particular. In generally speaking, when is Trinidad going to get redress or the same type of energy that they put into whether it's the zone of operations, the traffic laws implemented or the aggressive implementation as soon as the increase come? When is Trinidad going to get that same energy into white-collar crime, into the allegations that politicians continue to make against each other and the different political parties? We're not getting that energy. Look,
you see white-collar crime and thing, to be honest with you, it have a different a different kind of investigation, set of investigation, and I know of some that is going on right now. I mean, they're not talking about them, but there are some that are going on right now, and maybe they quietly going on, and maybe you might hear about them just now. They may bear some fruit, but there's a different kind of you can't talk about them so.
Yeah. I understand what you mean, but I am just hoping that it's not the same cycle of lawyers becoming wealthy or just feeding at the trough and no redress for the country. Because for decades, this is what we continue to see now, Mr. Matheson. You make all kind of matters in court, and sometimes as the government change, this matter stop, this matter thing, they get different advice at saying, better we stop this because it will cost us. But it's just a cycle where a group of lawyers continue to benefit of the state. And the thing is, I am yet to see penalties introduced for the people who are holding power. So, for instance, you have a policy, and let me just look at a simple thing as the reckon, for instance, right? For years, some of us would have known that if you go and meet the police reckon your vehicle, they have to release the vehicle to you, and they could have either give you a ticket. Many police have disregarded that to the point where they towed a person's vehicle while the person was sitting on top of the bonnet because they just don't want to follow the law. We are not seeing penalties being introduced so that people who are charged with enforcing the law, when they don't uphold it, that they will have a penalty to face. We are not seeing these measures being introduced, but we're going after the driving public. But as I say, this government is not serious, and I can clearly see it. I'm not saying that it don't have areas that they gain points in because it has something that the PNM just refused to do or just didn't listen to the citizens at all. At least when you make enough noise, it appears that Ms. Pasabi Sessa and them will pull back a little bit and make some adjustments. But in my opinion, based on the fact that it's adults and learned adults that we dealing with, they're really not serious. Anyhow, let me not take too much time and give somebody else a chance.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Thanks. Mr. Bataria. Mr. Bataria. Oh, gosh. Mr. Bataria, I lost you there. I know you've been calling a while now. Call us back. and I will certainly give you an opportunity to say what you have to say. Right? But yeah, okay, let's take this call. Mr. Bataria, good evening. I know you're calling a while now, boy, but
yeah,
you see how...
Good afternoon. I'm trying to find out what a bottle or if it's a right pill or how you're selling this thing.
What?
Well, I tell you already, you are a snake oil salesman, so I want to know how to purchase this thing. If it's coming in liquid form, is it a tablet? I want to know.
You're getting it mixed up with a little bit of okra, a little bit of garlic, red onion.
I don't know what I'm allergic to. You see, if I had to take this thing, I don't know what I'm allergic to.
And some beetroot.
Oh, nah, garlic and beetroot for me don't go down too good at the same time.
Parallel honey, you know, if you can't drink it.
Nah. My I tell me sugar is bad for me too. So I just kind of take it natural. I go take the bush tea then.
I like you too bad, yes.
I love you. Good afternoon. At least you could take a joke. I know that I am just, right? But we're dealing on seriousness here. Mr. Matterson, you can't tell me that this government know what you're doing and what Farley did. This administration might have the same intention to do it. She tried that already in 2010 to 2015 with the People's Partnership. And they turn around and tell me how she moved so many ministers and they was innocent. And because she was listening to the people. So she said to us, the mistake that she make then, I ain't going to make it again.
But remember, Manin did say that too. The mistake he will make and he will make it again, and he went around and make it the same thing.
Which was called election report time. That the mistake.
And Rowley did everything by the playbook to show that they will do the people the same thing that did them all the time. Disregard their concerns.
Which was what? Which was what?
I'm talking about the people in the party who felt that they were not taken into consideration with government decisions and contracts and all that kind of thing.
So you believe that the PNM should have been giving more what? Who kind of people should have been getting those contracts?
Huh?
Who people should be getting those contracts?
You are bright fella. You hear what the PNM
I
people
don't
say.
know.
You hear what You hear what PNM people saying all the time about the PNM.
What, African people supposed to get the contract?
I didn't say that. I just say you
well,
hear
I don't know.
People saying about.
That's why I asked you about taking this pill or this medicine. So I want to know.
I
want to know. We are big men and we are being honest to the population that is listening. The whole world is listening to us, Mr. Matterson. So I would like to know what you know that the PNM should have done that they didn't do, that have, I don't think the PNM, I met a man on, so please allow me, I met a man on Sunday for the first time in my life. He's about 70, went and fixed a roof. And he said to me, you know, son, I could have been Lawrence Dupree. He said, I used to cut log in the forest. And sometimes when I done illegally, I had $70,000. And that is an illegal price. He said, I buy a new van, I decide that me and a woman fall out. And I give the van to a man. He said, you know what today the man have? A quarry. That's an African man telling me that. You know? He said, so I can't blame the PNM for my lack of not understanding finances. That is the problem that Afro-Trinbagonians have, because a group of the same lady who is the Prime Minister now, who all of a sudden we must understand the position that Trinidad is in, because I was telling me just now, you know, understand that we are in a financial position and things are going to get better. So technically, you all are saying to us, tighten your belts. It's the same thing Rowley was saying. He just said it out frank and straight. And the opposition said to us, hey, you know, all of a sudden, these charges that we get, we should accept that because we are a lawless society. So when the point system was in place, She said to us that the government using the point system to victimize people and pressure people and all kind of things. So she didn't do the research to know that it's because we was lawless and a dump. So they drink the chum juice and throw it out. And the population accepted that and realized today, hey, you know, Rowley was talking the truth. I might not like how we did say it. That is the conversation now. Right now, KFC running around. I hear a man last night on our program, Wall Street, talk about KFC, and he do bad talk the government and KFC. It's not only KFC talking, because they gave these African brothers an impression that they go eat our food. The same man who used to call Heavy right here, he say up yesterday before he say I am on a program, he can't even call Heavy again. Africans doing that to Africans, you know. Because they talk against what they expected, what they believe, this utopia that the UNC promised. When UNC win, everybody wins, Mr. Marcuson. So that's why I ask you how I taking this medicine that you're trying to sell to me. Am I to inject it? Am I to drink it? Is it a tablet? Tell me. Because this mantra that the UNC preaching, when we ask them where you get any money from, don't study it. We will find the money. But they come on about property tax on rental owners. And the same people that tell me, oh, you should tax all them business people first. Petrotrin and this one and that one and tax all of them. They didn't do that. How am I taking it, Mr. Matheson? Are you going to grease it? Because they're giving me it raw here now. They're pushing it up from it on the hot end on the outside and the cold end on the inside and telling me accepted things are hard, we should know. Come on, I had known that since I came into office in 2015, that I had 3/4 of negative growth and had to pay public servants 14 or 15% that they promised them and didn't pay. I inherited 2 years or 3 years of a pandemic. There are countries around the world, still bigger countries than my 1.3 million or 1.4 million people, still ain't catch themselves yet from that pandemic. And I am still here. I get a budget of 63 billion and carry it all the way down to 50 something, and before I leave, and take a think about it, at 63 billion, was able to control that for 10 years or 9 years and a half, and before I leave, and nearly carried back to where it was in 10 years. Them did it in 5, from 43 to 63 in 5 years, 3 months and 14 days. How are you taking it, Mr. Matheson? So what are they going to do to me now? They just get into office and take out $1 billion when you ask them, they don't know. I meet the Minister of Finance in a gas station with the big time BMW. I said, Minister of Finance, this is what I... Nah, that ain't so. I said, look at that. So how are you taking it? But here what's going on. You know what? This man who just called it, here what I want. Him would thief $3.6 or $2.6 million. I asked them how he took it out in Carib case. We want to see him would get locked up. That's what they vote for, you know. We want to see him go join before the court and get arrested. Rowley party. All these junjat that they throw out. I ain't see nothing happening with that. Fool me. What I see is a man who have a matter before the court with a King's Council now is now getting paid from my taxpayer dollars to fight for the state, and he have a matter against the state have a matter against he. Is that fair? I have the former Attorney General getting work from this administration, and I have a matter with the state, not me. Yes, me, because I am make a part of the state. Have a matter with he. So I pay any to defend himself from me. That is fair. I'm taking it. How high again you want to push it, Mr. Matheson? Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't answer all your questions, Mr. Bata, yeah? But I can certainly give you a cursory glance at what's going on. Let's take this caller. Fellow umpire, what's happening?
Hi, Mr. Matheson. Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, at the end of the day, I am pro zone of special operations. However, I didn't really like how we went about explaining to the public. I think the explanations lacked statistics, data, and a lot of things that I know that the government has.
Well, I saw, as while you're on that, I saw Gary Griffith put out something relative to his experience with Zoso in 2014, where he talked about implementing it in Laventille. And he said that what the results of it was that we had crime went down, murders and that kind of thing went right down, so much so that there was just, for that period, you just had a domestic violence, a domestic situation where a woman was murdered. And then he talked about Jamaica. But I would agree with you. For some reason, and we spoke about that on this program already, the messaging isn't getting to the hearts and minds of the people. Although we haven't been seeing the facts of it as yet.
Exist to justify the move, I am sure. Because I myself do the research with the most crime-filled communities in Trinidad, and so we could justify why we're doing what we're doing. But that message needs to reach the public, and that should be before you're asking people to accept something.
Well,
so I don't know what was the result in the Senate.
The Attorney General, I guess they don't want to say, this is just my guess. I'm guessing that maybe they don't want to say exactly which community and how they will treat it, because for fear of the kind of recrimination that you're hearing from people with all these racial issues and that kind of thing.
I talk about the rationale. The lists are out. The list of communities are out. Whether official or not, there's documentation circling telling you what the list of the communities are in terms of the high priorities areas. And I think justifiably so. But the leap, we still need to make the leap between what they intend to do and why they're doing it. You understand? And sometimes that leaves room for the opposition, that leaves room for rumor mongering. I mean, all these things you have despite whatever you publish. But I still think the PR was lacking in explaining exactly why we're doing, because I am sure there's data to support which areas you choose, I'm sure. I mean, I don't think that they're just choosing it out of a hat. They do have the data to justify what they do straight to the public.
Yeah.
So all this talk about discrimination and Afro-Trinidadian and all that foolishness. No, give us the statistics that exist. The prison statistics exist.
I agree with you.
The crime
100%.
statistics exist. All of these things exist so that the public has a more educated and informed view when you're going to inform your measure.
Yeah.
But again, we are left to fill in the blanks. And fill in the blanks as a former educator, you know, it will always go well.
Correct.
Sure, let's put a lot of things in the blanks that you will never believe.
Yes.
When you put fill in the blanks.
Correct.
We shouldn't be filling in the blanks with these things. We know why, we know what are the areas, and we know why.
My whole position on this, while it mightn't be fall under the zone of special operation, but my thought process on this is, after you would have experienced whatever you experience, and you do your statistics and you check everything after the state of emergency, what we should have now be going with is to buffer certain things, a social program or social programs that will take care of certain at-risk communities and all those communities that you're talking about, that will take care of those communities in a certain way, so that you can now measure to see what the social intervention, what kind of movement you will have with social intervention, as opposed to going back to this, you know, foot on the neck kind of thing. You know, so that's how I see it. I mean, you know, I always refer to the Maslow hierarchy of needs. The thing is, if you can't satisfy one need, one important need, you wouldn't be able to move to the next level. And the challenge here is that a lot of these communities where you have these kind of problems, you have other things, other social issues that are affecting them, that are sort of the facilitators of the issues that we have.
And there are certain demographics, and I would even recommend that you could do the both things at the same time.
Yes.
You could implement the hard measures, but you could compensate with a type of social investment. So it doesn't seem like you're imprisoning people. So people have an opportunity. Either you get involved in the positive things in the community that we've put in place during this time, or you stay inside.
Yeah, but I think I did see something like that. They didn't mention something like that. You know? I mean, I know there was. If I go back in my archives, I think they did mention that they were going to do simultaneously. They were going to do both of them. They were going to introduce some social measures and that kind of thing. Yeah.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is what we need. So we are not preempting the government, but I believe again we need dialogue before policy. We know everything has a time frame. You know, you're managing crime, but crime is also a psychological thing. Let the population know.
And it is also
we're choosing or approach.
It is also a derivative. It is also a derivative of other challenges that or other things that are not happening in communities.
Correct. Correct. And there's a vacuum. Let's look at all the factors. We're choosing Kwaito in Oropuch because according to our statistics, Kwaito has the most amount of mood, and you break it down. And I publish it. Publish it. It is published. A lot of other things that we don't really need to know. Publish it. Educate the public. Make your policy. Govern. But it seems to be take it or leave it. You know, sometimes you get that type of impression with leadership.
Yeah.
And that is never good.
Exactly. That's never good. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why the bowling side is not bowling again. I mean, the bowling side is not batting again.
Correct. So that was the problem in the first place.
Exactly. So, you know, that is something that I take your point on that. That is something that is very serious, and that is something that maybe the government, if listening to us, they should consider investing heavily on bringing to the public the real issues, how you make those how you came about those choices. I know they would say that there are a lot of things in the public, and they talk about the Jamaica model and all the other things, but I'm talking here about the social issues, the social dealing with some of those social interventions that could help reduce crime in certain areas. Because one will have to agree that while you and I may see URP and CPEP as highly not productive and, you know, a strain on the economy, taking that away would also create other things. And therefore...
you're going to have a vacuum.
Yeah, you have a vacuum. So you had to do something then to fix all those things, to bring all those things, you know, in a particular place where you could deal with the social intervention, and also you could deal with the interdiction to be able to see from a statistical standpoint where you're going and how you could treat with it going forward.
Yes. I do agree with the move. I welcome the move, and I hope that the government has thought it out and not thinking as they go along, which sometimes we get. I hope you all have thought it out, the positive and negative. There's no barrier to implementation. The people give you all a mandate. But in doing so, you have to be careful of stepping on the same people that gave you the mandate. And we learned that. If the bowling side ain't learned that, then nobody ain't learned that.
You know,
and the batting side had a lot of time to see and observe while they were bowling.
You know,
while the
as I say that,
was bowling.
As I say that.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to talk. I was hoping that you'd be on the program today because I wanted to raise an issue I saw in the newspapers with respect to students and the hair and that kind of thing. And I know what the Ministry of Education.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I know what the Ministry of Education policies on it, but some schools seem to have a preoccupation on that. And to me, that sometimes you can't go too far with them things because you'll be infringing on people's rights, and you know, and you end up in the court, and we see that happen already. So, but I guess tomorrow you'll deal with that in a different place. Yeah,
definitely, we have to get into some of those issues.
But I agree with you holistically on the issue of communication and that kind of thing.
Man.
Because
we could do better, man.
Clearly, the public having some, it's like back to back, it's like fet after fet after fet. The first one was the traffic regulation.
Yes.
Now this, you know, they're taking a beating, boy.
Yeah. And you see, we see remember there's a silly season where you all communicate with us perfectly.
Yeah.
You're in our nose, you're in our house, you're telling me who thief, you're telling me who jumped the fence, you're telling me who hide this, all kind of bacchanal and bus mark. Use the same machinery, albeit even better and well prepared and well oiled, to have a constant dialogue and conversation with the public.
And I thought that was I thought that was what I was doing, because they start off really, really good with this legislation that was passed with respect to stand your ground and that kind of thing. And to me,
that was a good example.
Yeah,
of a lot of debate. It made the wrongs all over the country. It made the wrongs all over.
Yeah.
Good. And sometimes that is the panacea that will help people get over the harshness of the measure, you know.
Because as I was saying earlier on, you have a lot of misinformation out there. And it has certain people who thrives on that, because they know we have a largely ignorant population who just take what's on social media without analyzing it, without going through it, without getting the truth behind it and that kind of thing, and running with it. And as a result of that, with people who have major political interests or biases, you will have they will certainly benefit from that kind of the fact that the government is not putting out a position on it in the way we talking.
And I'm going to use a negative example. As for me, what has been quite the standard, even though it was a hatchet job, and I will always cite the Petrochin matter. The way the bowling side dealt with the Petrochin matter, little children who couldn't spell Petrochin were reciting that Petrochin was a drain on the economy.
Exactly.
You know why? Because they systematically published it, they repeated it, everybody was repeating it, they maybe make a song out of it. Good? So when it was done, to our demise, I would think, at the end of the day, nobody could say they didn't know it. And they stuck to their own, in the amidst of evidence to the contrary, they stuck to their own version of Petrochin and did what they have to do.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, they were there to govern. I didn't agree with it. I didn't have to agree with it. But I can't say I didn't know. I can't say they didn't say. Yes, they made a U-turn on it. But that too is politics.
Yes.
We understand that. Eh? So people calling in and talking about U-turns, this ain't the first U-turns. That seems to be part of the course.
Yeah.
And as you always say, the reality of governance when you're in the wicket does be different.
Does be different.
Everybody could say anything on the campaign trail. Anybody, I could outdo you, you could do.
And in fact, everybody say anything on the campaign trail, because at least the job is to titillate the imagination of the majority and get the votes. So you say what you had to say? You saw what happened in the last few weeks in Tobago?
Yes.
Just Tobago didn't take
but
the
the
bites.
limits placed on me by the reality of the economy, that too, I should be up with the people. Meet with all the unions. They were there marching up and down with you. They should not have to hear governance by when you get up. We had governance by press conference during COVID and after that. Good. You are union labor was part of government. Have the conversation with labor first. You all could argue behind closed doors. So when decisions are made in the public, nobody feels upended, uptight. Yes, I was at the meeting when the Prime Minister said, she said January, but we can't do January, we could do it June. Okay. You didn't like it, you was vexed. Okay. That too is okay. But you can't say that you just learned about it in the public domain. And people telling you ignore the promise, but then you trying to ignore reality. Promise and reality will always clash. They will always clash. So that's my contribution to the program. I'm locked and listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Ronaldo. The callers who was calling before, I'm sorry, but you can call us now. Call me now. Let's have that discussion. this is a very, very interesting topic, much needed, and well, you heard our positions on it. Clearly, we have a situation in Trinidad and Tobago where we have news and we have news, and sometimes we need to talk about these things. Good evening, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Matheson, and good evening, listeners. You know, I agree with almost all of what Bartaria was saying and Mr. Rollins, right? Because somebody in the circle must say, I mean, while we're doing these zones of operation, we could do things to help build the character of the people in the community, put on little events and get them engaged with them. You understand? If it's some open sessions and letting people become familiar with the law so that they would know what is expected of them, how to operate, a number of different things, right? But as I say, it have issues that all of them there's no exist when they're in opposition, and the moment they get power is like we forget about the existence of those issues. So I'm saying there is need for serious accountability as it relates to the persons who are holding power, right? And we need to see that happening to actually believe that these people are serious about what they are doing. And last but not least, before I leave, Mr. Bartaria's entire contribution is one of the reasons why Dr. Rowley and they had no right to accept that raise. Because while you ask people to tighten their belt, there is no justification as the leader of those people for you to experience that extra piece of luxury on top of the luxury that you already had.
All right, thanks. Let me take this caller. Good evening, caller. All right, call back. I missed you there, but yes, I am agreeing with you all this evening. Clearly, sometimes it's just a matter of perspectives, how we see things. The government have to really tell the public what's going on and how they're doing it. And so I would agree with anybody who says, especially Ronaldo, who says that maybe we need to get a deeper explanation of things. Don't take it for granted that the same way the man on the street is getting information is the same way as how you putting it out. Good evening. Okay, call us back. I don't know. I keep losing this particular caller. Yeah. So clearly we having some issues, and the Baton side. We seen plenty dot balls. So communicate with us, communicate with the public in ways that they expect them to communicate with them. But the thing is, my position on this, let me take this call again. Caller, good evening. Mr. Bata, you was calling on the next phone just now?
No, I just only call 19 again.
Oh, okay. Because someone calling us on the next phone.
I only call you on this line. I only know the number, but I only know this number.
Okay, great.
You see all that? It's fine, you know. I heard one of our former commissioner of police, advisor of security matters to the President Prime Minister, said to us yesterday on our program that we know where all the bandits are. So there is no need to put state of emergency, itemized communities to put state of emergency. All you need to know, because you already know who they are, is to go directly where they are. Instead of lock down the community, go and lock down the home or the compound of that particular individual. I heard Gary Griffith making that statement. Gather your information, because the police, most of these people that the police talking about are not new persons. There are people that have been arrested several times and continue to do the same thing within our communities. But here the problem. When Tanti down the road, son gets shoot, or grandson, let me put it this way. Tanti down the road, grandson gets shoot. Because look how Tanti talk to him. Them fellas and them trying to convince him that that old lady. So he gets shoot. Tanti can't take it no more. Tanti call the police station to tell them it's John Paul up the road. And before Tanti could put out the dustbin, Tanti get a house broken into and battered and bruised up. Mr. Matterson.
So yeah, you're correct. We have a problem with the system too.
We have a problem with the police service.
A simple thing like body cam.
But they say they don't. Hear what they tell you in that same law they want to pass. If it is available.
Yeah, I mean.
Come on.
Body cam
and Alexander on that program last time. Because when I tell them and say, here what going on. Hear what they said to us.
Body cam is saying you can buy on Amazon.
But the police service telling us that they are not wearing it. So if you want to solve the problem, in my community, Mr. Matterson, I live in a UNC constituency. Saddam Hussein is my member of parliament. And when I was growing up, in my constituency, it had two of the biggest drug dealers in Sawa. Naim Naya and Teddy Mice. And the both of them died of more or less, Teddy Mice get shot and Naya died of natural causes. And they did that for how many years? And the police was right now in my community, is only now I see some of them Chinese girls think because the fine going up high. The most illegal play where you could find is in a Chinese, and who is the security for the place? SRPs. So come on, Mr. Matterson. You in a SRP for a business place, but he carrying on an illegal play way. And you representing the state. So how we going to solve the problem, Mr. Matterson? By locking down communities? No, sir. Clean up the police service first. When Tanti make the phone call, you don't have to worry.
You have a lot of things to clean up, not just the police service.
Well, we have to start there. Instead of start on the citizens, you have to start on the people who have to enforce the law. The first line of defense is the people. And if I can't trust the people that enforcing the law, what you expect? We have a crimeless, that's how she put it, a lawless dump. We'll continue to have that. Enjoy evening.
Thank you. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening. Mr. Magazine.
Yes.
You know how I believe crime could be solved in this country? Very easy. Person must pay the penalty for the crime they commit. There's too many people who are killed and are in prison there for years. Nothing has been done. And it tells the other people out there, you can kill and get away. There are people being murdered on Frederick Street, Charlotte Street, crept in broad daylight, and they were not apprehended. People could do those things and get around. The government must have that respect. Must have that. The judiciary, the attorney general, and the prime minister must get together and solve that problem. Number two, let's look at economics. Mr. Matterson, what is the meaning of economics and where economics started?
The study of needs and wants and the satisfaction of such. And the thing
where did that? All right, did I see? Economics starts within the Greek system. It was called house law. They look at how the man managed the house, how the house was managed, then it went into the community, and it went worldwide. Check and balances, how you balance your account and so forth. When you have the father in the house getting a salary of $10,000 a month, and he put $9,000 in his pocket, and he gave the wife the other $1,000 to see about herself and the children, what would happen? They would revolt. And this is what is going on in our country. You have the former prime minister, he said things were so tight and he took 47% raise in his salary, going to about $90-something thousand a month salary, and you have people who were working for $4,000 and $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000. He told them, if I give you any more than 4%, you have to go to the IMF, because the country, the state of the country is very low. So and he didn't only take for himself. He gave his ministers, he gave the judge, he gave those people around here. Right? You had the opposition at that time did not come up against that. They come in power. They did not change it. I am saying, Mr. Matheson, this country will be divided to the very rich and the very poor. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, every single contribution in this program is respected, and we accept them. Most of what you are saying, most of what, you know, the persons who are calling are saying, I agree with you. It's just a question of perspectives. Good afternoon, KFC. KFC.
Oh, Marcus, me one before I go. Yeah, they want to try to take away people and try to people now. They tell you about four-star. Like the man in the papers now. You know, the politicians get locked up in this country. They will evidence of four-star. Go and lock him up. Go back to the job. I will give them tomorrow. We try to see Marcus.
Thank you. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the program. A very interesting program again today, and I put in particular value your comments and what you have to say, and invite you to join us again when we have this program tomorrow again. Tomorrow we may have a full house. We are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, hearing your comments as we analyze the issues and bring those issues to you in ways that we could invoke certain kind of discussions. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening until tomorrow.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.